This is a pair of what? What are these?
Rick Lavoie has worked with kids with reading problems for more than 30 years. But today, he's working with their parents. He wants to help them understand what it feels like to be a struggling reader, to understand what their kids go through every day. In this exercise, they're trying to read jumbled text.
That's been on the floor.
You have to what? Come on.
Pick up.
Pick up what?
This corn,
There's no question mark on my page. Imagine how you'd feel if you had a job where you couldn't do most of what you were asked to do. You didn't particularly like the people you worked for. You didn't particularly get along with the people you worked with, and you had to go and do that every day, 6 hours a day. You'd be pretty unhappy by the end of the day, too. And kids go to school for a living, and this child is failing at his job.
It sounds pretty serious, and it is.
Parents sometimes worry that they're overreacting when their child isn't reading in first or second grade. It's really not possible to overreact to that. It's a fairly serious thing from the child's point of view.
Parent Carmen Reynolds.
It's heartbreaking, and once they fall through the cracks, it's really hard to get them back on the right track.
You see a disproportionate number of kids with learning problems and reading problems in populations of kids with suicidal behavior, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, eating disorders, self-destructive behavior. So if we don't get on it and begin this process early, with early identification and early remediation when they get into school, that's the price you pay later on down the line.
Of course, the situation is tough for parents as well.
And parents go through this whole series of emotions that consist of things like anger and isolation and guilt and many of the same stages, frankly, that you go through when you're dealing with a death.
Many days, just getting your child dressed and off to school can be overwhelming. Parent Debbie Gaw.
He was very anxious one morning, and I said to him, he was getting ready for school, putting on his coat. I said, "Tyler, what's the matter?" And he said, "Mom, I'm stupid, I can't read." So that's when I really felt like, I have to do something for him. It just affects their whole life.
The reality is you need to stand up for your child. He's not old enough or capable at this point to advocate for himself. You do need to stand up. It is uncomfortable sometimes, but you've got a right to ask questions. You've got a right to receive those answers. And so my advice to parents is you need to sort of toughen up and recognize that your child needs you.